Friday fireside and kind of almost Merry Christmas. I'm here with Adam Gaynor. Adam, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Happy holidays to you and to everybody.
And to explain the hat, we're recording this before Thanksgiving, but it'll air in December. And as I told Adam, when you look like me, you have a certain social responsibility,
Yes.
things
Yep.
that you just need to do. And I actually do Santa in my spare time. Be ho ho ho. Gotta have a ho ho ho. All right. Speaking of doing things, Adam, what are you doing now? What have you done? Tell us a little bit about where you are.
Yeah, I've been consulting for the last year or so just to get more involved from I would say the brand side of things and
Okay.
client side of things. I've always been throughout my career um, on the sales side, a choice that people have to make of what inventory to buy.
Yep.
But as I think about my future and what I want to do is I want to get, further upstream to really sort of work with brands to help them understand how to spend their money, how to where to put their ads, to understand attribution, to understand measurement, something I'm very passionate about. So I've been doing a lot of that with a couple of different clients over the last, year or so.
Tell me how you define attribution because I hear different ways that
Yeah.
it is used.
I mean, to me, it's understanding the contributory factors of your marketing spend.
Okay.
And so, look, I think we've been talking about attribution for a while. When we brought addressable television to the market years ago, when I was at Dish, we always talked about attribution, but we frankly look at it from a last touch attribution model for the most part, and a lot
Okay.
of brands do too. I think
Last
it's
touch, you mean the last thing I saw before I went out and bought the
yeah.
BMW.
Right, that's exactly right. So you could be
I
peppered
don't
with
buy
magazine
BMWs.
ads, you could be peppered with digital ads, you could be
Okay.
peppered with a TV ad, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, is you go into the dealership, who's going to get the credit for that? But it shouldn't be really about last touch. To me, it's more about understanding what contributes to that touch. And
Yep.
so, hey, if 20% of my attribution is coming from print, does that match my budget? Am I spending 20% there? Am I spending less and getting more? And really understanding the balance of where the dollars are. So for me, attribution is tied very closely with measurement. And it's really about making sure that you get a return on ad spend, that you get a return on investment, that you understand exactly the contributions that are being made towards your media spend.
How do you measure attribution? I mean, it's changed over time.
Oh, and,
How
and
do
I
we
look,
measure?
I think there are lots of different vendors in the marketplace that are attribution experts, and I think they all bring a little something different to the table. Uh, I keep my eye on a couple just because I'm interested in what they're doing with AI and how artificial intelligence can play a positive role in helping to predict outcomes or to help measure those outcomes.
Okay. If you were to define the perfect method is not even really the way to do it, but let's assume I am a blank slate and I don't know anything about the new BMW SUV.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Now, there's no such thing as a blank slate, but let's just assume that.
Yep.
And over time, I see an ad, I read a review in Motor Trend because I'm a car guy. I might even talk to my friends. Are you trying to establish what kicks me over to the dealership? Or are you trying to build a profile of sorts, a sort of a
Yeah, no, I look,
continuum?
I don't think it's about building the profile. I think it's really understanding when BMW is spending $1 to get your attention,
Yep.
where is that dollar working the hardest for them? Is it in that Motor Trend magazine?
Okay.
Is it, with word of mouth, friends? Like, look, I think there are tons of attribution capabilities that are out there that look to unite platforms, right? Oh, we can do digital and linear TV. Great. But that's just a piece of the puzzle. There's other things. There's print, there's out of home. And so platforms that can look across multiple mediums, I think are going to be stronger as we move, forward.
If I am a brand manager for a BMW, I don't know what,
Right.
MX-14, whatever.
Right.
I'm a brand manager for that. I am paying attention to the stuff that I just named, that my target customer is reading Motor
Right.
Trend, and my target customer is currently driving that other car.
Yep.
My target customer has this kind of income, this number of kids, lives in this kind of home, lives in this particular DMA or zip code or neighborhood.
Yep.
As a brand manager, I'm managing a communications flow to an outcome.
Yeah.
Okay. The paid advertising is a portion of that.
That's right.
Tell me again where you're looking to be able to tell me where my money can be most effective or most efficient. What's the
Yeah, no. So again, I think you have a lot of marketers who are spending against digital channels, against linear channels, against CTV now, right?
Yep.
Which crosses between linear and digital. There's a lot of money being spent on advertising. I think there's a lot more scrutiny being placed on advertising. And what I've helped some brands do is understand the right vendors and the right things to be asking about how best to measure how far your dollars are going and where they're contributing the most.
Does it matter where I, the brand manager, am spending my money? Should I be spending my money
Oh,
in Yellowstone or Paw Patrol if I'm on
right. I,
Paramount Plus?
I think it absolutely matters. I think from a brand's perspective, you want to get the biggest bang for your buck. You want that return on investment. You don't want to throw money out. And look, I'll tell you, we can tie this back to, other conversations that we've had where I think CTV still has a problem in general when you're seeing the same ad over
Yeah.
and over and over and over again.
Yep.
On my phone in my downtime, I may play a game or two, and every 5 minutes in that game, it's the same two ads. I see a Volvo ad over and over and over and over and over again. And I
To the
actually
point
see,
that you start saying, I'm never going to buy a damn Volvo.
well, no, to the point where I'm not paying attention to it.
Okay.
And that's even worse, I think. And so the other ad I always see, which shocks me on my iPhone, is for the Apple Watch 10. I have an Apple Watch 10. And so to continually get the same ad, it's not even a different ad, it's the same ad. And so I haven't worked with Apple and I haven't worked
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Volvo.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
when I think about attribution is understanding someone's paying for those ads to run. Someone is. And so is that good money being spent? Is there a better place to reach me if you're Volvo? Is there a better place to reach me if you're Apple? And if I end up buying the Apple Watch 10, is there a way that that ad that I saw can at least contribute to what I did when I made the purchase? Whether it was the last thing I saw, the first thing I saw, or somewhere in the middle.
All right. We're going to run out of time, but let me ask this one question. If I was tracking, measuring, whatever the right word is it, for attribution for a specific brand,
Yep.
okay? I'm the company who's doing all that.
Yep.
Am I just feeding that information back to the agency, or am I making a recommendation that said, you only spent five of your budget over here, and that gave you 20% of the impact? Am I
Yep.
making recommendations on that?
And I think that's where the flavor of different attribution companies come in.
Okay.
Um, I'll mention one that I've been working, at least I've been, looking into is a company called Attributy.
Okay.
They look across different segments of media. They are adding a level of artificial intelligence to recommendation engines, to reporting mechanisms, because the last thing you also want to do is get a dump of, all right, here's your attribution report, go do something with it. No,
Yeah,
it's about
yeah.
having actionable items, and that's what I like about some of these different companies. It's actually helping the brand know how to better um, you know, have a better effective spend.
Okay, so if you were to define the perfect deliverable from an attribution company back to, sorry guys, going to go through the agency, I'm going to go right back to that brand manager. What is the report that you think delivers the best information?
It's a report that summarizes what occurred and recommends what you should do the next time around, and gives the end user, whether it's an
Yep.
agency for the brand or a brand themselves, it gives them an opportunity to have a constant feedback loop. So as you make those changes and you implement those changes, are those the right changes? And are there other things that you can do from a creative perspective, from a medium perspective, from a spend perspective?
Yep. Okay. And by the way, not to my agency friends, I didn't want to disparage you. Fact of the matter is, if you're on the attribution side, your job is to make the agency look good when
Oh,
the agency goes and talks to the brand.
absolutely. The agencies are there to work on behalf of their brands.
Yep.
They do best when they have the best information and the smartest information, and that's where attribution can play a big role.
Well, cool. Well, Adam Gaynor, I am now a little smarter about attribution than I used to be. I'm still a numbnut, but thank you for that, and I thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you.
And I'll tell everybody now, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah,
Thank
and
Happy
let's look
holidays.
for a better 2025. Can you believe it's
Indeed.
going to be 2025? No,
Unbelievable.
it's impossible. Anyway, thank you, bud. We'll talk later. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.